Don't touch that dial. The absolutely completely random podcast is coming up next, only on Web Designer 18 here on YouTube, because no other place can hold me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the absolutely completely random podcast for Saturday, May 5th, 2018. Sadly, it isn't May the 4th be with you day anymore. But for those of you that were willing enough to venture out and had some money in your pockets, it was Free Comic Book Day. Yeah, we all remember that story from me from last year, don't we? Free Comic Book Day, my ass. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that this year. Let's let burned bridges stay burned and gone and buried. What do I have to talk about this week? Well, believe it or not, I actually am going to be talking about that Cobra Kai YouTube Red series. No, I have not watched the whole thing. No, I don't plan to watch the whole thing. I watched the 2 free episodes that YouTube had up. And I'm going to be discussing it and giving my thoughts on it. Power Rangers. I got a Power Rangers topic this week. It has now officially been acquired by Hasbro. Lock, stock, and power coins. I was planning that one all week. I got 2 Yu Yu Hakusho topics that both coincide to the same thing. Their 25th anniversary thing that they came out with, or are coming out with, I should say. And Little Nightmares, the game that can haunt your mind and screw with you mentally, is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Oh boy, the entire collection. Oh god. That just makes you feel good inside. Plus some other topics, some other things. You never know what could happen here. This is a podcast where anything goes. Random is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, well, it may be the whole iceberg. But anyway, by now you know the song and dance. If you're a regular listener of this podcast, which comes out every single week, you know the song and dance. ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. Collectibles, weird stuff, what have you. You can find it there, and pretty much it's for sale. So come check out my eBay page. That's all lowercase ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. You can follow me on Twitter at OtakuRhodes, and you can also check me out on Facebook on the Web Designer 18 official Facebook page. So, how did my week go? Slightly better than last week, but not by a long shot. So, this week, I don't even know how exactly to put this into good words. So last week, I told everybody about our problem with our desktop dying. I was searching for another one as good as I could find, for as cheap as I could find. And I did manage to find one happily. I'd like to thank the Newegg people on eBay, at least their eBay page, for having a really decently affordable one. I honestly am amazed at that. It is manufacturer refurbished, so there's that. But in all honesty, at this point, that was cheaper than buying a brand new one right off the shelf at a store, so I could have cared less. I had it down between that or I think it was like some other seller on eBay. I was trying to weigh the two of them. I pitched an offer for the one, and it just expired. It says they had no office hours on the weekend. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not even going to bother. Went for the other one. And I actually like it. It's a laydown type, so it goes horizontally, not vertically. Although you can put it vertically, but you need like a special adapter to keep it from wobbling too badly, and I'm not going to spend $25 on that. When in all honesty, I'm fine with it laying flat. It's like my old PS2. I miss that thing. So it's basically like that. It's a Lenovo, so it works out really well. Highly impressed with it. What's funny is the whole thing came out to like under $90. Because I bought an extra keyboard because I didn't know if it was going to come with a keyboard and a mouse. I figured if it doesn't come with a mouse, oh, that's fine. I got like 2 or 3 USB ones here that I could just chuck on. But I'm like, the keyboard, I don't have one of those. And we didn't have any more at work that I could buy at work when I was done. I'm like, crap. So I'm like, all right, screw it. I just picked one up. It's a smaller one. Doesn't have the number keypad on the end of it. And I'm fine with it. I like it. It's small. It's compact. It fits perfectly on the desk where it is, and I like it. I approve. So I have that. We got that. It showed up on Wednesday because I was sort of half asleep. Well, when it showed up. We started summer hours now at work, so I get 2 hours less a week, which kind of sucks for my wallet. But in all honesty, when it's going to be like 90 degrees out, not exactly a bad thing, because then we can go home a little earlier. We're not roasting so badly. So it's actually, there are some good and bad things with it, but I'm just not that humongous of a fan of it. But as with all good things that happen in my week, this just has to be something bad happen. So, I talked about this before on the podcast multiple times, and I think I might just make it a topic because I'm going to be a little short this week on topics, so I'll just make it a topic this week. Because this is what happens when it's a slow news week and there's nothing. There's like only a few things that just spark your interest. It's like, okay, you gotta figure out what you want to do, and I didn't want to do a Q&A episode yet. I'm kind of leaning to saving that as a special for my anniversary, because the 2-year anniversary of the podcast is coming up in September, so I'm kind of leaning towards saving it for that. I don't know 100% yet, though I might just make that like an extra thing and just upload them both the same day. Like I said, I don't know yet. I really have to hammer that out a little bit. But either way, it's something to look forward to. It's something to consider. Not to mention the fact I'm kind of looking into a couple things yet. So, all in all, I have some ideas. But for this week, I just was kind of literally scraping the bottom of the barrel because the barrel's kind of like half empty. It's kind of fun. But other than that, yeah, week's been kind of one of those I really wish I could just throw it back and say, can I have a do-over? Like, where's my redo button? I want to have a do-over. Other than that, one major thing that did happen this week, and I'm kind of impressed about this, as a lot of you out there know, I play Puzzles and Dragons. That's the mobile app game. I really want to say it's a lot of fun. My one fan, Capone Aldrin, and I do apologize if I keep mispronouncing your name. It is difficult to pronounce, and I don't do it all the time, and it's what makes me kind of get confused. Like Capone, it's either Alderine. I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. If you have like a nickname that you're cool with me calling you, if I ever want to do a shout out on here, leave it in the comments section. I look forward to your comments each week. Actually, I look forward to your comments on all my videos, to be honest with you. It's like the one bright point of my day. I have a fan that likes my videos and leaves a comment. It honestly makes me feel good inside. So if you have like a nickname that you're cool with me calling you, or just if I can just call you like Capone or something, just let me know. That will make this so much easier because then I won't be mispronouncing your name. But anyway, that fan got me hooked on Puzzles and Dragons, and I was actually able to do something this week that I haven't been able to do ever yet. And I do mean that. In the game, there are special dungeons where they change every day or every month, depending on which dungeon you pick. There's a monthly dungeon, a daily dungeon, a weekend one, so on and so forth. And there are some special ones like an experience boost, a gifting dungeon that gives you something for beating the opponent. And in this case, there was one. It was a legend dungeon, and you get the final boss monster. That's what you get, or at least a variation of it, usually. But I have never been able to get past any of the legend ones. I keep getting my ass kicked royally. And this time I finally was able to do it. I was able to beat it. I was shocked. It cost me like 3 magic stones, but that was right at the end of it. I'm like, I'm this close to beating the boss. I am not going to walk away. I got 3 magic stones. I will piss them away to continue to beat this thing. I want to end this. I was literally like just clicking the ability of my one monster and waiting out the turn. This is like 2 turns where I could like beat the opponent, the boss monster, and I'm like, I am not passing this up. I have a chance to beat this. I am not passing this up. And I did it. I was finally able to beat a legend dungeon with my little makeshift team, which only like a few of them are maxed out, but not all of them, and 1 helper. So it was really fun. I was able to beat that. I scored a nice monster, though I probably won't use it. This is a darkness type, and I'm trying to build a good fire type to use on my team because I have 2 light types, a water type, a darkness type, and a grass type. And the problem is that some of them are dual elements, so it's light and darkness, water and darkness, darkness and darkness. So I want to try to find a good one to sort of balance it out, and that's the problem that I'm having. But otherwise, I'm having a blast with it. I was just excited that I was able to beat that one dungeon, the Legend Dungeon. That just freaks me out. As far as mythical, forget it. I got down to the final boss on that, and I just got owned in like one hit, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm good. I'm not gonna try. It can OTK me. Forget it. I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, that was pretty much how my week went. Did some Alliance Wars. I started an Alliance War yesterday. Finished it up today. Or I should say Thursday. Was that Thursday? I think it was Thursday. I started it. Finished it up today. Just started up a second one. We're in the placement phase, so that's gonna be pretty cool, I guess. Sword Art Online is going pretty good. I did the experience thing and the weapon material and to level up your skills and your weapons. That was pretty fun. Finally managed to beat floor 5 on that too, which was really impressive because that thing was kicking my butt. And I'm in no hurry to go back and try to beat the boss a second time with a single character instead of the massive team because I got owned pretty heavily from that one. I'm now on floor 6. I'm content with floor 6. Although I did learn something very interesting. I don't know if it was a glitch or what, but this is kind of cool. And I'm going to make this my last point in this because this is running long. I can hear my mom yelling now, get the hell on with it, boy. That's what she'd be thinking. With Sword Art Online Integral Factor, I joined a party. Just because they invited me to it, and I thought, you know what the heck? Because it was the floor 6. I was still new. I had to really use my skills. I had to just spam them to beat the opponents, to beat the monsters in the section. And I was gaining experience and some of the materials that the other ones were getting too, because we were all part of the same party. Now, I don't know if that came about with their latest update that they did, or if that was something that was always in it and I never knew about it. So, for those of you out there that are playing that, first off, I'm kind of saddened that the rating on it dropped, but then again, I kind of reviewed it too on their little thing. I gave it a little review. So I understand why it dropped, because believe me, I have my issues with it too. The camera's annoying, the weapon system's a pain in the neck, the fact that your items will constantly have to be re-registered to the hotbar just annoys the crap out of me. I'm actually thinking about doing a review thing for it, I really am. But it went down to like a 3.7. So I understand there are some bugs yet that have to be worked out. I think when you went from a 4.7, which is what I think it was when I first downloaded it, down to a 3.7, that's something you got to look into and go, okay, what did we screw up? But if you're playing that game and you see like a whole bunch of people and they ask you to join a party and they're just literally doing some training, like just going around bashing the opponents and that, jump on the bandwagon, because that's some free experience. It's a bunch of free items, and especially when you have a chance to get some of the higher up weapons and armor that are later on in the game, it's not exactly a bad idea to upgrade and get some of the material you need quickly. So it's a good idea. Check it out if you get a chance. Some of it's fun, some of it's annoying. I'm still working on beating the majority of it, or at least getting decently good at it. I'm still working on it. But otherwise, I'm having a blast. So, yeah. All right, so let's jump into the podcast, shall we? Because this is going on for a good 12 minutes, and I can hear my mom screaming right now in my head. All right, so let's talk about this YouTube Red series, Cobra Kai. Now, for those of you that grew up back in the 80s, or are nostalgic about things from the 80s, like the Karate Kid series, or Spaceballs, or Back to the Future, you're going to understand some of the stuff from this. Okay, maybe not so much Baseballs and Back to the Future, but The Karate Kid definitely. So, the series was just... I saw the trailer for it. I was in one of the ads before a video I was watching earlier this week on YouTube, and I thought, okay, I was just going to look it up on Wikipedia. Then, all of a sudden, on the YouTube homepage, when you go into YouTube, it's like, there's a free episode I can watch. It's a YouTube Red series, but I can watch the episode for free. Yeah, sure, what the hell? The first 2 episodes are up for free. You can watch them both, and I'm like, all right, that works. And I checked them out. The entire premise of it is just, it's good, but at the same time, it kind of feels really half-assed. The first episode, you basically get Johnny's story. Now, Johnny was the kid that kicked the crap out of Daniel LaRusso in the first movie. He was the star pupil of the Cobra Kai dojo. Basically, he was the big man on campus. Nobody messed with him. Everybody respected him and loved him. And if you didn't, you were outcasted in like 30 seconds. So, we see where his life has gone since the December 19th, 1984 tournament, when Daniel LaRusso did the crane kick and beat him in the tournament finale. His life's gone downhill. He is currently living in the... Oh, by the way, spoiler for those of you that didn't see it yet. He's currently living in the same apartment complex that Daniel and Miyagi had lived in. Or that Daniel, his mom, and Mr. Miyagi had lived in at the start of the Karate Kid movie. The first one. And I'm like, it's kind of a inaccuracy if they're trying to go with the actual series of movies, the trilogy, because in the third one, they were tearing the damn thing down, and Mr. Miyagi was out on his ass, both for home and job. So, it was kind of a screw you right there, but it is a screw you I could overlook. Because, in all honesty, the series is weird. Not the trilogy, the third movie should have never existed. I'm just going to come right out and say that. But this Cobra Kai series is weird. So, you have William Zabka, who's reprising his role as Johnny, and he basically is this, I want to say, an odd jobs type of person, where if you need something done, he'll come and he'll do it. Clean out your gutters, mount your flat screen TV, what have you, he'll come, he'll do it. He ends up meeting this kid in the apartment building, in the apartment complex, who's basically, I want to say, the Daniel of the series. And it's sort of the reverse of the original. Whereas Mr. Miyagi was the handyman that worked at the apartment building, Zabka's character, Johnny, is just this annoying SOB. That is, I'm sorry, that's the best way I can put it. He's just this annoying guy who's there for the sole purpose of, hey, it's my story. He wants nothing to do with the kid. He tells the kid to screw off, basically in his own pleasant way, and proceeds to go about his daily job, where he then gets fired because he insulted the one customer because he didn't put the TV on the right wall, and she was jumping down his throat, and he got fired. Which, yeah, there you go. Goes to a convenience store, gets a slice of pizza, is eating it in the parking lot. All of a sudden, these kids come along and start beating the crap out of the kid from earlier. So, at this point, as I'm watching, this is all in the first episode, too. As I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, Zabka's point here, the point when he could have stepped in and been the hero, is now past. Nope, he steps in anyway then, and starts kicking the kids' butts. I mean, he just literally kicks their asses, and it's like, oh, alright, it's cool. This works out pretty well. He got arrested. Yeah, you don't just fight people in a convenience store parking lot in this day and age and expect it to not end badly for you. He got sent to jail, ended up getting bailed out, was released, goes back to his crappy apartment, and there's his father, or stepfather, who I swear is played by Ed Asner, who is not aging well. I mean, ugh. And I swear that's who it was. I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong. It's scary if I'm not. But he's there. He goes, he gives him a check and goes, I want to write you out of my life. I know I promised your mom I would keep, I would keep an eye on you. I would take care of you. I'd help you. But even she would cut me some slack in getting rid of you and cutting the cord. He's tired of the kid basically being a screw up. He's tired of the kid being a pain in the neck. So he basically gives him a check, says, I want you out of my life. Don't ever call me again. If you get in any more trouble, you're on your own. So he goes and tears the check up, basically tells his stepfather to get out, and proceeds with basically going back to being the lovable bastard that he is. Then realizes that he could actually do what he wants to do, and what he wants to do is reestablish the Cobra Kai dojo. Mostly because the neighbor kid wants him to teach him how to do karate. Yeah. Hence where I'm saying the reverse of the original. So, he opens up the Cobra Kai dojo, uses the check, and gets the one shop in the little strip mall in Reseda, and opens up the Cobra Kai dojo again. And he gets nailed from the local health inspector. You got to do this, and this. Is like an entire list of stuff that he needs to have done prior to him being able to open. So then, all of a sudden, there's the kid doing sit-ups on the floor. All of a sudden, the guy goes, hey, kid, are you a customer? All of a sudden, Zapka goes, no, he's just an illegal that I hired. I don't need to know that. I'm thinking to myself, there's just like no end to your stupidity. That's what I was thinking. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for this guy. He's blaming his entire life, how badly his life is currently going, on the fact that Daniel LaRusso kicked his butt in a tournament back in the 80s, and his life has just never recovered from that. Because then you had the events of the second movie, or the start of the second movie, where he's getting choked out by his sensei because, oh, well, you lost, you're a loser. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you're a piece of work. So, that was just all episode 1. It gets worse starting in episode 2. Now, episode 1, there's also a neat little side thing that happens where poor Johnny's car gets hit by 3, I want to say, privileged girls. Turns out one of them is the daughter of Daniel LaRusso, who now owns a car dealership called LaRusso's, where every single person leaves with a bonsai tree. They have the best body shop and mechanic in all the valley. He's basically made himself out to be a success. He's basically living the life that Johnny wants. And Johnny's car gets towed there, and he's pissed. He wants his car back. And as he's trying to walk out the door, because he doesn't want to run into LaRusso, oh, lo and behold, there he runs into him. So they end up talking, and he goes, well, look, I'll just do you this as a favor, man. He goes, my guys could use the practice. He goes, no. He goes, I'll handle it. He goes, dude, the repairs are going to be more than the car's worth. So he takes the charity, gets his little bonsai tree, and is pissed. I don't understand why. I mean, I can understand to the point you taking your anger and frustration out on the world by the fact that this is the kid that kicked my butt in a tournament, but that's your entire thing. That's why you're claiming your life is the way it is. Not the fact that you were trying to be Captain Hotshot and Captain Hotshit back in high school. You were selling drugs in the first movie to people. So much other crap, and none of that came back to bite you in the backside. And you're taking out your anger and frustration on this guy who literally came here from Jersey. He came to Reseda from Jersey because his mom got a new job. And you're pissed because he took your thunder. And you're claiming that that's why your life's gone downhill. And that's the only issue I seem to have with this series so far. So, that was just episode 1. Episode 2 is basically Daniel's side of the story, where you see how Daniel's life has turned out. He's got 2 kids, 1 son and 1 daughter. He's got a, I want to say, attractive wife, although, in all honesty, if we want to go off anything from the movies, he should have stayed with Kimiko from the second movie. I'm sorry, he should have. Okay? I understand writing her out of the third movie, that's fine. The third movie was a train wreck anyway. It was just a literal steaming pile of garbage that should have never seen the light of day. And don't get me started on the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank, because that was even worse. But you have, it was. You have Daniel basically living his life, showing people some of the tricks that he learned from Mr. Miyagi, like fixing the car with his hands, running the dealership. He's basically doing very well for himself. He's got a nice house, his kids like him, and on his way home from work, he stops at a stoplight, he looks to his left, and he sees the Cobra Kai dojo, which Johnny's just opened, or is about to open, or trying to open, and all of a sudden, just the horrible memories from the 80s just start flashing back to him like, oh God, here we go again. Why is this happening to me now? It's almost like he was getting a PTSD sort of thing. And it just like starts throwing him off his game a little bit. So then he's like, okay, this is fine. Well, then it goes to him taking some of his family to a country club where his son's literally just playing a tablet game. His wife and him are trying to figure out where they went wrong as parents, while his daughter is at home having a little pool party with all the popular kids who are currently wearing Daniel's swimming trunks. Yeah, that really makes him feel good inside. It's when you gotta act like a parent. But the part I kind of like is when his son looks at him and goes, Dad, where the hell's my soda? And he just goes, I'm going to throw him in the pool. It's like, I don't think he was joking about that. It's like, I'm going to throw him in the pool. So then he comes home, finds out his daughter's been throwing a party. He's not happy about it. He's pissed. He has yet to find out, though, that his daughter and her friends were the ones that nailed Zapka's, or Johnny's car, I should say. Though if he ever finds that out, I guarantee you he ain't going to be happy. He ends up meeting he ends up meeting his daughter's sort of crush. And it turns out to be none other than the privileged kid who was kicking the underprivileged kid's butt in the first episode. And he's going, and all of a sudden you got Daniel going, oh, well, how'd you get that shiner? Goes, oh, I got my butt kicked. Oh, yeah, kids can be cruel in high school. Don't get me started. It wasn't a kid that did it. Well, you mean to tell me it was an adult? Yeah, I don't know, he just started using karate or something. He just kicked my butt outside of some convenience store in a strip mall. What strip mall? Then all of a sudden, it's like, it just clicked right in his head. He goes to confront Johnny, and all of a sudden, it's like, he sees the kid coming out from cleaning the toilets, because Johnny has him literally doing all the work to get the place up and running. He's not even really pulling a Miyagi here. He's basically being a slave driver, figuring, hey, this kid's going to become my personal slave. That's how I'm going to teach him. And that way I can have my karate studio the way I want it, and I don't have to lift a finger to do anything about it. Like I said, privileged jackass. So here the kid comes out. His name escapes me. He comes out from cleaning the bathroom, and all of a sudden Daniel sees him and goes, whoa. You see, all of a sudden the kid goes, I finished cleaning, Sensei. And all of a sudden he goes, well, wait, Sensei? He goes, well, wait, kid. He goes, I don't know what lies he's been feeding you, but if I were you, I'd leave. You're going to turn out just like him. And Daniel and Johnny are just starting to rehash their rivalry all over again. It's like they tried putting their past aside, and it's just not working. All of a sudden, Daniel goes, just stay away from my daughter's friends. And all of a sudden, you just have Johnny going, well, you don't even know who your daughter's friends are. They were the ones that were beating up the poor kid. I stepped in to intervene. It's like, get your house in order. And that's where the episode sort of ends. And it gives you what's going to happen this season on, the whole thing. You have basically the rivalry continuing. Daniel not really focusing on his business. He's starting to lose it. He's shook. He's really shaken by this. You have Johnny teaching the kid and then some other kids. His prize pupil, the one that asked him in the first place, starts kicking the other guy's butt at school. And it's just a nonstop, I just want to scratch my head and go, what the hell is going on here? And that's the entire 2 episodes that you can watch for free. I'm not exactly a fan of this either. There's no way I can really say I'm a good fan of this. Because at the end of each one, you have Ralph Macchio, who has reprised his role, by the way, he's like, now you can, click here to watch episode 2 to hear this, see Daniel's side of the story. Then he's going, now that you've seen both sides of the story, check out what can happen. Check out your free YouTube Red 30-day trial and check out the entire series of Cobra Kai. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'll pass. If this is one that'll come out on DVD or something, fine. I'll pick it up if it's on DVD and it's really cheap. Otherwise, no, I'll pass, actually. To me, it just seems really, I don't want to say idiotic, I want to say too preachy. While it does have a good basis on it, everything kind of feels like it's being forced. You're forced to feel sorry for Johnny. You're forced to feel angry at Daniel. You're forced to wonder where their lives differed and how are they the same. And then you have Daniel basically in the one scene for what's going to happen this season, crying almost on Miyagi's gravestone, going, I really wish you were here to give me some of that sage Miyagi advice. I'm thinking to myself, kid, in all honesty, at this point when I saw that, I'm like, you've been without him for how long now? He taught you everything you need to know. It's you have to put those lessons. That's what his greatest lesson was. He taught you everything he knew. You have to use what he taught you to better your own life. But the fact that the series makes me feel like I'm supposed to feel sorry for Johnny, I don't want to feel sorry for Johnny. I don't want to feel sorry for William Zabka. At this point, I don't want to hate Daniel LaRusso or Ralph Macchio either. So that's what kind of throws me into a loop with why I don't like this. While I will admit getting to watch 2 free episodes was nice, because I'm never going to go for YouTube Red. That's a screw you offer right there. I don't see the point in having a series like this come out and literally be out for what? The nostalgic fans that are never going to watch it, or the fans that are going to watch it and not understand one damn thing about it. I mean, who are you gearing this towards? Because if you're gearing this more towards adults, that ship might have sailed a little too far out for you to catch it. But if you're gearing this towards kids, forget it. That's idiotic at this point. But like I said, it's not exactly like I'm really jumping at the bit to watch more of it. While, okay, it's nice to see Ralph Macchio reprise his role as Daniel LaRusso. It's nice to kind of get some closure. In all honesty, you could have just made this into a crappy motion picture. Honestly, called it, the Karate Kid, the new Karate Kid or something. Or the saga, concludes and have this be like years later. And just done it as a movie. And not as a freaking series. That's what I kind of feel. It's not exactly that it's bad. The writing feels forced. The acting feels like they're phoning it in. It's just horrible. Don't take my word, though, for it. Check it out if you want to. I swear it's still up for free yet. At least the first 2 episodes you can watch for free. Check it out. It might be worth it. You might like it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. But it seems idiotic to me. We're supposed to feel sorry for Zabka and at the same time hate Daniel. Whereas in the original movie, you were supposed to feel sorry for Daniel and hate Zabka. So it's the complete opposite, completely, of what the movie taught us, is what the series is teaching you. And it's something that I just can't get behind. I don't know why. But that's my thoughts on it. Like I said, the first 2 episodes are up on YouTube. You can watch them for free, but I'm just not a fan of it. I'm really not. All right, so Power Rangers. Yes, Power Rangers forever, so long as it's not going to ever be Super Mega Force or Mega Force. Both of those sucked. Well, for those of you wondering, there's been big news this week. Hasbro's acquired the rights to Power Rangers. Not just the toy rights, though, mind you. They have acquired all of Power Rangers. Lock, stock, and power coins from Saban brands. So, Hasbro announced that it's purchasing Power Rangers and several other brands from Saban, including My Pet Monster, Popples, Julius Jr., Luna Petunia, Treehouse Detectives, and more. The deal, which includes cash and stock, is valued at around $552 million American. That's a huge chunk of cash right there. So Power Rangers is an iconic brand built on a heritage of great storytelling and merchandising from tremendous upside potential when fully executed across Hasbro's brand blueprint, said Brian Goldner. What this basically means, Hasbro is now going to own Power Rangers. This isn't the first time that it's ever been sold either. Because let's all remember back to the Disney era of Power Rangers, when Saban sold it to Disney. We all remember how that went. They decided to end it after RPM, seeing that it was getting too expensive. They moved the production over to New Zealand, said, screw California, we're going to move it to New Zealand, where it sadly stayed. Fine. You should have realized after Super Mega Force that that was not a viable idea anymore. But okay. So be it. I thought I had to sneeze there. Okay, I did have to sneeze there. My apologies. Hasbro's chairman and chief executive officer, who's Brian Goldner, shortly after entering into our licensing agreement, it became clear that now was the time to begin investing in unlocking Power Rangers' full potential. I kind of want to disagree. That full potential kind of happened already. Back in the 90s when it started, 1993 or 94 when Power Rangers started with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it was a hit. It only suffered massive fluctuation because of the writing, the people in charge of it, and the characters, basically the actors. Those three things were what sort of made it unstable. Disney buying it from Saban did not help. The fact that you had to tiptoe around certain things using the Sentai footage did not help. All that stuff did play a factor into this, but not a tremendous one. But it gets better. We see significant opportunity for Power Rangers across our entire brand blueprint, including toys and games, consumer products, digital gaming and entertainment, as well as geographically throughout our global retail footprint. We couldn't be more pleased that Ham Saban will continue in a consulting role to further guide our development of this valuable property for the next generation of Power Rangers fans. Yeah, they're probably going to shove poor Haim Saban off to the corner in the office and go, okay, this is how we're going to do things. Haim, you got anything to say? Okay, I can't hear him anyway. All right, so I'm just going to take that as a no. All right, we're going to push forward with this. We're going to make it more like this, less like this, more action, more cow explosions, more this, more that. You got anything to say back there, Haim? Okay, nothing at all. All right, then we're good. Let's go for it, people. Let's move. Let's break out Power Rangers like we never broke it out before. And you're just going to have poor Haim Saban sitting back there in the corner going, I wish they would have listened. It wouldn't have cost them anything just to hear me out. But they want to bring this to a new generation of Power Rangers fans. I'm all for that. The problem is, the ship has kind of sailed with that too. Keep in mind, your big moment to grab hold of this younger generation has passed. The 20th anniversary, which would have been the crappy Megaforce and Super Megaforce, that was your chance to grab hold of their, basically grab their attention, grab their entirety, grab it all. That's where you screwed up. Because that's where nobody cared anymore at that point. Then you had Dino Charge, and now it's Ninja Steel, and now you're going backwards with having Beast Morphers. Because, oh well, as interesting as it was to have this and this, it didn't pan out. Now we want to go backwards because we think this will be a good mix for this. But this one didn't do too well in Japan. At least the toy sales didn't. At least that's what they claim. Personally, I didn't really like Go Busters. The plot for it kind of sucked. And I don't see how they're going to make that into a decent, believable Power Rangers series. But then again, I don't understand half of the stuff that they managed to screw up. I mean, they're going to end up... I'm hoping they're going to end up finding a way to bring Tokuger here. But let's face it, they won't. And you know for a fact they're not going to bring the newest one, Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger. That's never going to hit the U.S. Oh, God, no. Thieves and cops? Oh, not in this country. Whoo-hoo, that's never going to hit the U.S. I mean, if they really want to go for it, why not bring back Die Ranger and try figuring out a way to not screw that up? Oh, never mind, that ship has sailed too. You used the footage for the second season. So, this article gets better. So 25 years after launching Power Rangers, I believe the future for this brand has never been greater, said Saban, founder of Saban Brands and creator of the Power Rangers. Hasbro's leadership in innovation, storytelling, and brand stewardship make it the perfect company to further develop the global reach and appeal of the Power Rangers property. I look forward to working with Brian and the team in the years to come. Power Rangers is already known globally. You'd be surprised how often, if you have something of Power Rangers up on eBay, you're going to get questions from people in other countries. Hey, do you ship over to my country? Do you ship here? How much is it going to cost for you to ship it here? I want to buy this. Power Rangers is widely known, especially thanks to the internet. You can pull up like a Shout Factory and that. They have some of their stuff that you can watch. Especially the old Japanese versions, Super Sentai, you can pull those up. There's an entire thing, you can watch them online. There's so much of this. And while I won't deny that Hasbro does have some innovative storytelling, let's look at Transformers Titans Return, Transformers Combiners. That was Hasbro. I swear to God that's Hasbro's doing. At least they have a good chunk of stake in that because they're using the Transformers and they got the rights to that. So you have all that. That's what you call decent programming. Now, when it comes to live action, which is what Power Rangers has always been, I kind of get a little weary on that because I don't know how Hasbro does live action. They're more of an animated company. And if they're going to put Power Rangers into the animated sort of stake, I kind of see a problem here. Because that's not going to help anything more as it's going to hurt. In so many ways, too. Because it's just not, you're taking something that's live action and suddenly making it animated. That's almost like the first season of Chaotic into the second season of Chaotic. When they changed from flash animation to cell animation. And you could tell the difference in a matter of seconds. It's like, whoa, this looks 150 times better than the previous season did. You can tell where the cutoff is. And then you have something like this. You're going to be going from live action to, hey, we just need you to come in and voice the character for 10 minutes. You're not going to have to work for longer than like an hour just voicing a couple episodes. You can go home. We're just going to do all of you individually. If they're going to do live action, I'd like to see how they do it, but I just don't trust it. I don't know why. It doesn't sit well with me. But anyway, fans can start seeing the products from Hasbro in 2019. So we got to wait till next year till we start seeing some of the Hasbro line of toys. I kind of hope, in all honesty, that if Hasbro's coming out with this, two things, at least for the toys, at least toy-wise, like 2 or 3 things I'm hoping to see Hasbro not do. Don't follow the same tradition that Bandai did with the brick. Because that's all the Power Rangers figures ever were bricks. Honest to God, that's all they were. They were bricks. They're just plain bricks. Basically, don't make them into the Transformers Combiners where you just like ram them together and hey, you got a Megazord. Don't do that. Your fans will get mad. At least put some thought into this. And don't half-ass it. Don't just look at it and go, okay, that's good enough, we don't care. Actually test your stuff. R&D the crap out of it. Because if you're pitching this to kids, keep in mind, if they manage to get off their tablets, smartphones, and computers long enough to actually play with it or collect it, they're going to want it to move. Not have small mobility, they're going to want it to move like it does in the show. So don't screw that up. That's all I ask. But as I said, though, this isn't the first time Power Rangers was sold. In 2001, Disney bought it from Saban. It was purchased back by Saban Brands, though, in 2010. And it has featured Samurai, Super Samurai, Megaforce, Super Megaforce, Dino Charge, Dino Supercharge, Ninja Steel, and Super Ninja Steel since its return to Saban's hands. Now, sadly, it's going to Hasbro, and who the hell knows what's going to happen. So, Hasbro, like I said, previously acquired the Master Toy license for Power Rangers, previously held by Bandai America, and now it will add the entire brand under its wing. And we are very interested to see how this affects properties, movie aspirations, as well as its toy crossover opportunities. No more Power Rangers movies. Let's take that into consideration. The one that came out last year was a train wreck. I should have never seen the light of day. When you have to bring in two of the old school Power Rangers, and even their cameo in the movie could not save it. Bryan Cranston could not save that train wreck. I don't care who you are. Go ahead. Say it was a good movie. I dare you to tell me it was a good movie. That should have never seen the light of day. And you have people going, well, you just have to remember, you can't think of it as a reboot of the original series. No, I'm thinking of it as a slap in the face to fans of the original series. This is not the Power Rangers. They did not have superpowers outside their costume. They did not have a training montage where they were fighting artificially created putty robots, hologram things. They did not have to take on some mutant monster called Goldar that's made out of gold. And they did not have a whiny head on a Jumbotron and a small crappy E.T. knockoff. No more movies. Sure, I'd love to see toy crossovers, but don't cross them over with don't cross them over like Transformers. Please, no. Bandai did that. Jungle Fury, they had some transforming figures where it could transform, like the Ranger literally transforms into like its beast for Jungle Fury. You had Casey could transform into the tiger. Theo became the Jaguar. So on and so forth. That sucked. If Hasbro wants to do something good with the toys, go back to the Microzords. Those were a good thing. Why they got canned, I'll never know. At least try to finish up the Legacy series. I still like my Legacy Shogun Megazord, please. That would be nice. I guess I'm never going to get that now. Damn you, I guess I'm never going to get that. But, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but at this point, whenever Saban sells off the Power Rangers brand, I get weary. I get nervous because I instantly start thinking, oh God, it's Disney all over again. Because Disney killed this thing. Disney royally screwed the pooch on it. I liked RPM, but it's hated. I'm sorry, not RPM. I liked Operation Overdrive, and it's strongly hated by so many people, it's not even funny anymore. I liked RPM, and again, that's hated by so many people. Jungle Fury was good. Again, hated by people. There's a pattern with the Disney era ones. They're liked by certain fans and hated by a majority of other ones. Then when Saban brought the license back, it's like, yeah, it's ours. Let's come out with Samurai. Samurai wasn't bad, but it could have been better. But then again, you have to remember, Saban was out of the loop for the longest time. They had to recover with what they had. After buying back the license from Disney, they could not have had a lot left to put into the first couple seasons. Though I wish they would have splurged just a little bit more on writing staff and plot for Super Megaforce and Megaforce. That would have been so much better because that sucked. Your legendary war that you built up to was a freaking middle finger to the fans. They did better with Dino Charge. At least that one had some take back to the original Power Rangers-esque feel to it, which was more than anybody could ever want. But, I mean, I don't know how Hasbro's going to do this. I don't ever know of any live-action Hasbro programming, so I don't know how that's going to work. But then again, it might do better. I don't know. It's just, it makes me uncomfortable. That's all I got to say. I feel uncomfortable about it. I'm all for Hasbro having the toy line. They do a great job with the Transformers, provided they don't make them one-step changing Power Ranger things. I don't see that ending badly. Though I won't get my Legacy Shogun Megazord now. That does annoy me, because I really wanted that. But, alright, fine. I'll make do with not getting that, provided that maybe I get a 3.5-inch Zord builder or Micro Zord Shogun Megazord. I would appreciate that. Or the Mini Pla, like the little micro model kit, like the Megazord and the Dragon Zord that came out. Get a mini Shogun Megazord of that. I just want a Shogun Megazord and a Zeo Megazord and Super Zeo Megazords. Give me those and I'll be happy. I'll even take an Astro Megazord too, and I'll be happy. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of on the fence about. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know why. But then again, I don't know. It could be good. It could be bad. It's just, it's one of those grain of salt sort of things. That's what it seems like. Alrighty. Let's talk about Yu Yu Hakusho. Now, I talked about this back when the 25th... I think it was the 20th. Was it the 25th? Alright, doesn't really say it in the thing here. But anyway, I know I talked about this when the Yu Yu Hakusho anniversary thing was coming up, and they were talking about it. There was something big that was going to happen. Well, they revealed more details about this. Now, the anime is going to be packed with the fourth part of the... it's the 25th anniversary Blu-ray box set, which is going to launch in Japan in October of this year. So, the whole thing is simply this. So, the original animation project was previously announced, and more details have now arrived, along with the latest issue of Weekly Shonen Jump. The new anime is going to adapt Yu Yu Hakusho Volume 7's two-shot bonus chapter and the penultimate All or Nothing chapter when it launches in Japan this October. Director and storyboarder Hiroyuki Abe, Bleach and Flame of Recca, along with other staff members at anime studio Periot. Oh, there you go. That's a prime name right there. This is going to be good then. The cast will also be reprising their respective roles, including Nozomu Sasaki as Yusuke Urameshi, Shigeru Chiba as Kazuma Kuwabara, Megami Ogata as Kurama, and Nobuyuki Hiyama as Hiei. I apologize for any noise that was picked up on my microphone. We have some idiot neighbors today. As for the stories of each adaptation, two one-shot covers, two-shot cover, it covers Kurama and Hiei's first meeting, while All or Nothing has the leads coming back together to resolve a spirit world hostage crisis. So, that's kind of cool. We get to finally see how Kurama and Hiei met, and the whole team comes back together to hopefully kick some ass and take some names to resolve a spirit world hostage crisis. If this is taking place after the anime, I highly doubt Yusuke Urameshi is on King Yema's list of people to call, because he was fired as a spirit detective because he had Masaku blood running through his veins. So yeah, I doubt highly that he is at the top of this list to call. So, there's more info, though, that came out then. The 2 episodes are coming as part of the 25th anniversary Blu-ray set in October, as I already announced. Previously reported, the episode will adapt the bonus story from the original manga and the series penultimate chapter. Two-shot covers Kurama and Hiei's first meeting, and Niroku Soroka, All or Nothing, has the leads coming back together to solve a spirit world hostage crisis. That's the entire thing. That's literally all I got. And it kind of sucks that that's it. But it's still neat. And that's kind of sad, because the 2 articles literally came out like a day apart from one another. Yeah, they really didn't do much of anything to explain. That's some great work there, Otaku USA. It didn't really explain much. It's just the same crap from the day before. Alrighty. Make me look like an asshole. But anyway, it's not so much a bad thing. I'm not, like I said, too thrilled looking forward to this, but I kind of like the idea. I shouldn't really say I'm too thrilled for this, but then again, it's going to probably take it a long-ass time to get its butt over here to the U.S., so I'm really not too thrilled about that. But anyway, being able to find out how Kurama and Hiei first met isn't a bad idea, because all we have of that is a crappy little one-off scene from the anime that basically told us that, okay, Kurama was sort of this being that was tracked down by Hiei and forced to help him, while Kurama had his ulterior motives. He wanted to use the power of the mirror that he stole to sacrifice his life to save that of his human mother's. And it was just a sort of a touching thing. And then that's what kind of made him become friends with Yusuke, because Yusuke decided he was going to sacrifice himself instead, and the mirror decided to take nobody because it was a noble sacrifice. Go figure. As far as having the hostage situation, the hostage crisis in Spirit World, as long as this is better than Poltergeist Report, I don't care. Poltergeist Report sucked. No Yu Yu Hakusho fan alive can deny that. And if any of them do, if there are any out there that say that Poltergeist Report was good, you're lying through your teeth. That thing was an abomination. The voice acting wasn't even the same. It was so goddamn horrible, it's not even funny anymore. But the fact that it's just sort of one of those weird, strange, unusual things kind of makes it interesting. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, provided I can watch it, at least subbed. But if I have to wait until it comes out dubbed, man, that's going to take a while. Because you know Funimation is not going to decide to jump on this bandwagon anytime soon. They got their hands full with My Hero Academia. Unless they're going to do like a simuldub. But I doubt they're going to do that. They'd have to get Justin Cook back. Not to mention all the other voice actors from that. Yeah, I don't see that happening. But then again, you never know. Hopefully it will. I don't know. I can't speak for whether or not it's going to. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. But anyway, that's the latest on that. Hopefully it'll be good. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing it in the English. If not, I'll look forward to seeing it sub provided if I can. If I can't, well then I'm going to be miserably pissed off. And that's all there is to it. Alright, if you've been living under a rock for, I want to say, the last couple of years, at least maybe the last year and a half, you probably have not heard of the game Little Nightmares. If you haven't, congratulations. I sadly have, and it freaked me out. From what I've gathered from it, since I have never played it, I've only seen video of it, and there was basically demo footage that I've seen. It's sort of, I can't really explain it. You're like this little creature, it's like in a yellow raincoat, and it's trying to traverse the world around it and escape something, while trying to save other people or other things like it. There was a scene where it's having to, or at least a part in the demo that I saw, where it has to go get around this really, really bizarre looking chef that's going to kill and cook it. It has to get out of a room. It falls into what I assume is like a trash compactor where something's swimming in there and it's trying to escape. It's creepy. To say the least, it's creepy. This is sort of like a Tim Burton movie meeting like the darkest version of your nightmares. This is something that's so dark. I mean, I could honestly see Tim Burton making this into like a movie. Making it sort of like Corpse Bride meets, and I really want to think like a really dark movie here, but I can't, nothing's really coming to mind. But I mean, we're talking dark. Like very, very dark. Well, It's coming to the Nintendo Switch. The game, the complete edition, is coming to the Nintendo Switch on May 18th. So 13 days from today. Oh boy. Yeah, it's coming there, so you can get ready to enter the maw and play with your childhood fears. Are you ready to play? No, not really. Like I said, the gameplay that I've seen scares the living crap out of me. It's creepy. It's disturbing. You're literally feeling your heart pounding each second as you're watching this little thing try to escape being either killed or dismembered or whatever's going to happen when that screen goes black. You don't want to think about it. But at the same time, you really don't want to play it either. It's sort of like that stupid game that came out for the Xbox right about the same time that BioShock became really popular. Involved a whole bunch of people taking this little pill called happiness, and whatever they did, it was basically gave them rose-colored glasses permanently attached to them so long as they kept taking it. If they didn't take it, they started seeing the world around them for what it really was, a desolate hellhole. And it's just kind of creepy, and it just gets worse and worse as it went on, at least for what I saw of it. And that's sort of what Little Nightmares was. It was just a creepy series, and a creepy game that just kept getting more and more creepy the more it went on. I want to say it was decent to watch, but let's face it, it really wasn't. It was just really off. I just kept thinking this is like a Tim Burton movie. It's like Tim Burton meets M. Night Shyamalan or something. It was creepy. You can check it out. I think the demos video is still up somewhere on YouTube. Check it out. Like I said, it's creepy. I just can't put it into words. It's creepy. It really is. It's just creepy. All right, time for your bonus topic of the week. And believe it or not, this one's kind of an interesting thing here. So last Friday, Avengers Infinity War opened to massive popularity, massive box office records. This thing went gangbusters and basically blew Black Panther out of the water. It made a crater twice the size of anything space has to throw at the Earth. And yet, it was beaten in Japan. Okay, all right. I know what you're saying. How could it have been beaten? Well, believe it or not, it was beaten by everyone's favorite pint-sized detective. No, I'm not talking about Pikachu. It was beaten by Detective Conan. The anime film topped Avengers Infinity War in Japan. So it's kind of cool. It's the one pint-sized sleuth Thanos can't quite figure out how to dominate. Despite it being the third weekend for the 22nd Detective Conan anime film, Detective Conan Zero the Enforcer still managed to sell more tickets than the opening weekend of Avengers in Japan. Ouch! Zero the Enforcer came in at number 1 with 453,000 tickets sold during the April 28th to 29th weekend, which put it at 16,000 tickets higher than Avengers. Infinity War pulled in 672 million yen with 437,000 tickets sold. And the numbers were actually down from the 2015 movie The Avengers Age of Ultron in Japan. So that kind of sucks. But here's the full Japanese weekend box office for last weekend. Here's the full rundown. I'm going to go with number 10 and work my way up to number 1. It's going to say what it is now and what it was. At least I'm assuming. Yes, okay. What it is now versus what it was. So coming in at number 10, formerly at number 8, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Coming in at number 9, which was at number 6, The Boss Baby. I'm still amazed it's playing over there yet? Seriously? They got like discount theaters or something? New at number 8, we have Marmalade Boy. At number 7, formerly at number 5, Inuyashiki. Inuyashiki, I guess I mispronounced that, my apologies. At number 6, brand new, Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun. Don't know. At number 5, formerly number 4, Coco. At number 4, formerly number 3, Crayon Shin-chan, Burst Serving Kung Fu Boys Ramen Rebellion. That's a mouthful. At number 3, formerly number 2, Ready Player One, which I've heard is good and bad at the same time. My one coworker swears that it's good, but then again, I don't really trust much of what he says. Because then he also would turn around and say, yeah, but it's not that great, and I don't know what to think of it. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War, and number 1, still staying in the top spot, Detective Conan, Zero the Enforcer. So, gee, Detective Conan's still going strong overseas, whereas Funimation canceled his sorry butt here in the States years ago. Man, how I wish I could still have a Detective Conan series. Oh yeah, Case Closed. Why couldn't we get more Case Closed here, Japan? Funimation, sorry, I shouldn't really blame Japan for that. Funimation, why couldn't we get more Case Closed? Why did you have to end it halfway through season 5? We didn't even get to understand who Vi was, and she shows up in some of the subsequent movies that came out after her character was introduced. But to think that Detective Conan outsold the Avengers movie, that's impressive. Now, granted, it was only by 16,000 tickets. But still, that's some pretty damning stuff there. A movie that could not be beat here in the States got trounced. Granted, it was by a very small margin, but got trounced in Japan, of all places. That's just hilarious to think about. It honestly is. So he managed to beat down Thanos. Well, there you go, folks. Squirrel Girl may be able to kick Thanos' ass, but so can Conan Edogawa. With his superpower sneakers, detective glasses, stretchy bow tie with the communicator, not to mention the super stretch suspenders, and all of his cool gadgets, including his wristwatch stun gun. He must have stunned Thanos and just used the voice synthesizer to use his bow tie synthesizer to change up what his name was. To change up Thanos' voice and tell everybody to retreat and disband. I don't know. But he must have done something. Because that's just impressively funny. It really is. He beat Thanos. Alrighty, folks. That's going to do it this week for the absolutely, completely random podcast. Like always, if you have any topics you'd like to see me or like to hear me talk about here on the podcast, feel free to let me know. Drop them in my discussion page. Email them to me at acrpodcast@gmail.com. Drop them on my Twitter feed, basically my Twitter page, at Otaku Roads on Twitter, or post them to my Facebook wall, WebDesigner18 on Facebook. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes. This has been the absolutely, completely random podcast. Have a nice week, a lovely weekend, and I'll catch you next time here on the absolutely, completely random podcast. Bye, everybody.